As men move into their 60s and beyond, many quietly begin to notice subtle, yet deeply personal changes, ones they don't always talk about, even with their closest friends or doctors, because the truth is that the spark of desire, that essential masculine drive that once came so naturally, can begin to fade with age. And while this shift is completely normal and a natural part of the aging process, it doesn't mean it has to be permanent or accepted without question. And what often surprises men is that desire isn't simply about testosterone or physical performance, but a delicate combination of emotional well-being, hormone balance, cardiovascular health, and even gut function. And more surprisingly still, certain foods, particularly specific fruits, have been shown to support all of these systems in unison, restoring the feeling of vitality and sexual interest that many thought they had lost for good. And among these, there is one fruit commonly found in grocery stores, often overlooked and dismissed as ordinary, that urologists have recently begun spotlighting for its incredible impact on male libido and energy levels, particularly in men over 60. Not because it's exotic or expensive, but because it contains a unique blend of natural plant compounds, antioxidants, and trace minerals that directly influence blood flow, hormone production, and mood, which are the three foundational pillars of male sexual desire. And that fruit is none other than the pomegranate, a deep red, jewel-like fruit with a rich history in traditional medicine, now backed by a growing body of modern science, showing its effects on erectile health, testosterone levels, and even sperm quality. And what makes pomegranate so uniquely powerful is its high concentration of polyphenol, particularly punicalagins and anthocyanins, which not only fight inflammation but also increase nitric oxide production in the blood vessels, allowing for greater vasodilation, or the widening of blood vessels, which is critical for healthy blood flow not just to the heart and brain, but also to the penis. And when blood flows freely, the physical response to arousal becomes stronger and more consistent. And even more fascinating is that pomegranate has been shown in clinical studies to modestly increase testosterone levels naturally by reducing oxidative stress in the testes, where testosterone is produced, which is a critical factor because testosterone plays a direct role in libido, motivation, and mood regulation, all of which can decline with age due to chronic stress, poor diet, lack of exercise, or simply the passage of time. And when these hormonal and circulatory improvements begin to take place, many men report a spontaneous return of desire, not just in the physical sense, but also in the emotional connection and sense of masculine confidence that often fades quietly in the background over the years. And what's equally encouraging is that the benefits of pomegranate don't stop at the bedroom, as the same mechanisms that improve sexual function, namely reduced inflammation and improved blood flow, also protect against heart disease, cognitive decline, and insulin resistance, which are three of the most common age-related conditions affecting men over 60, making this simple fruit a powerhouse for overall wellness and not just intimacy. And the best part is that incorporating pomegranate into your daily routine is easy and enjoyable, whether through fresh fruit 100%, unsweetened juice, or even concentrated extract supplements, each providing varying levels of the active compounds responsible for these health benefits. And when paired with other simple lifestyle changes like moderate physical activity, stress reduction through breath work or meditation, quality sleep, and the elimination of processed foods that cause inflammation, the effects of pomegranate become even more noticeable and long-lasting. And many urologists are now suggesting that men over 60 who experience a drop in libido or performance should first consider nutritional strategies like this before jumping into pharmaceutical interventions, which often carry unwanted side effects or require prescription, whereas pomegranate offers a natural, food-based solution with side benefits instead of side effects. And for men who have struggled silently, who have felt disconnected from their partners, or who missed the spark that once made them feel fully alive and vibrant, the discovery that something as simple and accessible as a fruit can begin to reverse those feelings is both powerful and deeply hopeful. And the beauty of it is that this approach doesn't rely on gimmicks or dangerous compounds, but instead taps into the body's own healing systems, reminding us that with the right nourishment, vitality is something that can be revived, not just for fleeting moments, but for the long term. And in the next part, we'll dive even deeper into exactly how to use this fruit, how much to consume, what time of day may offer the best results, how it compares to other common foods touted for male vitality, and how you can combine it with other habits to create a lasting improvement in your desire, energy, and relationship connection that brings new meaning and excitement to your later years. Now that we understand the powerful role pomegranate plays in restoring desire in men over 60, it's essential to explore how exactly to incorporate it into daily routines in ways that are both enjoyable and highly effective. Because while simply eating a few pomegranate seeds here and there may provide some antioxidant benefits, unlocking its full potential for sexual health and vitality requires a more strategic approach. And this is where timing, dosage, and pairing with other natural compounds become incredibly important. And many urologists now recommend consuming about 8 to 12 ounces of 100% pure pomegranate juice per day, ideally in the morning or early afternoon, when the body's metabolism is active and hormonal levels are most responsive to nutritional input. And for those who prefer the fruit itself, half a cup to 1 full cup of fresh pomegranate seeds, sprinkled over oatmeal, yogurt, or salads, offers a delicious way to get the full spectrum of polyphenol, fiber, and natural sugars in their whole food form. And for men who may not enjoy the taste or convenience of fresh fruit, high-quality pomegranate extract supplements can also deliver a concentrated dose of the bioactive compounds, particularly punicalagins, which have been shown to significantly enhance nitric oxide levels and reduce oxidative damage to blood vessels and reproductive tissues, making them an excellent option for targeted support of erectile function and libido. And what's even more interesting is that the benefits of pomegranate appear to increase over time, with studies showing that consistent daily consumption for several weeks leads to measurable improvements in testosterone levels, sperm quality, and erectile response, indicating that it's not a quick fix, but a long-term support system for aging male physiology, and when combined with foods that also promote nitric oxide production, like spinach, beets, and dark chocolate, the effects are amplified, creating a kind of natural synergy that supports not just bedroom performance, but full body health, including heart function, brain clarity, and immune defense. And another crucial factor is hydration, because pomegranate works best in a well-hydrated body where blood volume and flow are optimal. So increasing water intake throughout the day, especially when taking pomegranate juice, helps flush out toxins and ensures that nutrients are delivered efficiently to cells, including those in the reproductive organs. And just as important is minimizing the intake of foods and drinks that counteract pomegranate's benefits, such as excessive alcohol, refined sugar, and processed meats, all of which are known to increase inflammation, damage blood vessels, and suppress testosterone production, making it essential to view pomegranate not just as a magic bullet, but as part of a broader lifestyle strategy that supports male vitality from multiple angles. And physical activity plays a huge role here too, because engaging in even 20 to 30 minutes of moderate exercise per day, like brisk walking, light resistance training, or yoga, can boost testosterone levels naturally, improve blood flow, and enhance the body's ability to metabolize the powerful antioxidants in pomegranate, ensuring they are absorbed and used efficiently where they're needed most. And perhaps one of the most underappreciated aspects of this entire process is the mental and emotional benefit that comes from making these healthful changes. Because men who take steps to support their own vitality often report not just improved libido, but increased confidence, better moods, and a renewed sense of purpose, which feeds back into desire and intimacy, creating a positive loop that enhances both physical and emotional well-being. And it's this feedback loop where natural nutrition, healthy habits, and emotional connection reinforce each other that forms the true foundation of lasting male vitality, especially after 60, and its worth. Noting that pomegranate has also been studied for its ability to reduce cortisol levels, the primary stress hormone, which when elevated chronically can dampen sexual desire, disrupt sleep, and suppress testosterone. So by reducing stress through both dietary and lifestyle choices, men create the right internal environment for libido to flourish once again, and simple practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, or even short afternoon naps, when combined with the regular intake of pomegranate, can shift the nervous system out of fight or flight mode and into a state of calm, openness, and readiness for intimacy. And while it might sound surprising that such a seemingly small act, drinking a glass of juice or eating a bowl of fruit, could trigger such profound changes, the truth is that the body responds to consistent care and nourishment in powerful ways. And nature has provided tools like pomegranate, not just for sustenance, but for healing, renewal, and even the rekindling of passion. And for men who have felt frustrated, disconnected, or disheartened by the gradual decline of sexual desire with age, this knowledge offers not only hope, but a practical path forward, rooted in the simple yet profound act of choosing health each day. And in the next part, we'll explore the stories of real men who have integrated this fruit into their routines and seen remarkable turnarounds in their energy, mood, and bedroom performance. And we'll also look at additional natural remedies that can work in harmony with pomegranate to restore lost desire and rekindle connection in ways that feel effortless, authentic, and deeply satisfying. As we move deeper into this exploration of how pomegranate can restore lost desire in men over 60, what becomes truly remarkable is not just the science behind the fruit, but the real-world experiences of men who have embraced it as part of a broader strategy for revitalizing their intimate lives. Because while research studies and clinical trials provide the foundation for credibility, it's the voices of everyday individuals, men who were once struggling with feelings of disconnection, fatigue, or frustration, who provide the most compelling proof of how powerful this simple fruit can be when consumed with intention and consistency. And many of these men report that within just 2 to 4 weeks of adding pomegranate juice or seeds to their daily routine, they began to notice subtle but meaningful shifts in how they felt, not just physically, but emotionally and energetically as well. Describing experiences like waking up with morning energy that hadn't been felt in years, an increase in spontaneous sexual thoughts and feelings of attraction toward their partners, and most importantly, a renewed sense of confidence and purpose that seemed to radiate outward into every aspect of their lives, from how they carried themselves at home or in public to how they communicated with loved ones. And for some, it began with nothing more than a glass of pure pomegranate juice alongside breakfast, followed by a light walk, a brief session of stretching or breath work, and perhaps a conscious decision to reduce processed food and sugar intake. And within a month, the change became undeniable, not just to them, but to their partners who noticed a new spark, a warmth, a presence that had quietly faded over the years, but now returned stronger, deeper, and more rooted in intentional connection. And this process is not magic, but the natural result of treating the body like the miraculous system it is, giving it the raw materials it needs to produce energy, circulate blood, effectively synthesize hormones, and quiet the background inflammation that acts like static, interfering with the body's communication and response systems. And pomegranate, in this context, acts like a signal booster, amplifying circulation, oxygen delivery, and cellular repair so that all the systems involved in sexual desire begin to function more harmoniously. And when combined with healthy levels of sleep, adequate hydration, stress reduction, and the nurturing of emotional intimacy, what begins as a dietary choice becomes a transformational lifestyle shift. And men in their 60s, 70s, and even into their 80s have reported not only improved libido, but a sense of reclaiming their identity, of reconnecting with a part of themselves they thought had been lost to time. And for many, this awakening doesn't just stay within the bedroom, but spills out into how they engage with hobbies, how motivated they feel during the day, and how openly they express themselves with their loved ones. Because libido is not just about sex. It's about life force, vitality, self-expression, and the primal energy that fuels curiosity, courage, and joy. And pomegranate seems to unlock that life force in a way that is both gentle and powerful, making it one of the few truly holistic natural tools that support not just one organ system, but the entire constellation of factors that influence male desire and confidence. And it's worth noting that in ancient cultures, particularly in the Middle East, India, and parts of the Mediterranean, pomegranate has long been regarded as a symbol of fertility, vitality, and masculine power, often used in rituals, traditional medicine, and cultural practices for its restorative properties. And it's only now that modern science is catching up to what traditional healers have known for centuries. That nature, in her wisdom, often provides the most potent remedies in the form of everyday fruits and herbs, and pomegranate stands at the top of that list for men who wish to age not just gracefully, but powerfully, maintaining the passion, energy, and drive that make life exciting and meaningful at every stage. And the beauty of this process is that it doesn't require a drastic overhaul, a medical procedure, or a risky supplement regimen, but instead invites a deeper presence in daily life, a quiet revolution of choice that starts with what we consume, how we move, how we rest, and how we relate. And the ripple effect of those choices transforms not just individual health, but relationships, emotional well-being, and overall quality of life, creating a reality where age becomes a source of wisdom and strength rather than limitation or decline. And as more men embrace this approach, the old narratives around aging and masculinity begin to shift, revealing new possibilities for joy, intimacy, and self-discovery that were once thought exclusive to youth. And in the final part of this video, we'll tie everything together by outlining a simple daily routine that incorporates pomegranate and complementary lifestyle practices, helping you or your partner unlock and maintain this renewed sense of desire, performance, and emotional connection, not just for a season, but for the long term, proving once and for all that the best years of intimacy and vitality can still lie ahead. Bringing everything together, the story of pomegranate and its ability to restore lost desire in men over 60 is far more than just a nutritional footnote. It's a symbol of what's possible when we return to nature and begin listening to our bodies again. Because the truth is that the body never stops trying to heal, never stops sending signals, and never gives up on vitality, even when we've ignored its quiet whispers for years. And as many men step into their 60s, 70s, and beyond, there's this unspoken assumption that desire, passion, and intimacy are meant to fade, that it's normal to feel tired, unmotivated, or uninterested. But that belief is often rooted not in biology, but in culture, in outdated messages that define aging as decline rather than evolution. And when we step away from that noise and look at what the body truly needs, what it responds to, what it thrives on, we discover that desire can absolutely be rekindled, that energy can return, and that the intimate moments we thought belonged only to younger years can once again become vibrant, fulfilling, and even more meaningful with age. And the pomegranate, with its deep red seeds and centuries of symbolic richness, offers a starting point, a doorway into a new chapter where desire is no longer something we chase, but something we nourish. And by building a simple daily routine around this fruit, men are reclaiming parts of themselves they didn't know were missing. And that routine doesn't need to be complicated or time-consuming. It begins with waking up and choosing to hydrate, to fuel the body with something real and life-giving like a glass of pure pomegranate juice, to pair it with protein, healthy fats, and movement that gets the blood flowing, even if it's just a brisk 15-minute walk in the morning sun. Because that walk isn't just about circulation. It's about sending a signal to the brain and the heart that you're alive, that you care, that you're invested in feeling your best. And throughout the day, it's about making those quiet choices like swapping out processed snacks for whole fruits, choosing connection over isolation, putting down the screens and looking into the eyes of someone you love, and saying yes to life again. And at night, it's about rest. Not just sleep, but real rest, the kind that comes from knowing you did something for yourself, from taking a moment to breathe deeply, stretch the body, express gratitude, and go to bed with the quiet pride of a man who hasn't given up, who is still becoming, who understands that his worth, his fire, and his capacity for passion are not defined by age, but by the depth of his presence. And when that becomes your rhythm, your baseline, something powerful starts to shift, not just in the body, but in the way you think, the way you carry yourself, the way you show up in intimacy, because libido isn't just about erections or hormones. It's about connection to yourself, to your partner, to your purpose. And pomegranate, as strange as it may sound, becomes a daily reminder of that connection, a ritual that grounds you in vitality, in masculine power, and in the truth that you're not done growing, not done feeling, not done loving. And what follows naturally is a softening of the fear and shame that so often surround aging and sexuality, replaced by something richer, calmer, and more open, where communication flows easier, where touch feels safer, and where intimacy becomes not a performance, but a conversation, a dance of two people attuned to each other's needs, willing to learn, to adapt, and to rediscover what it means to feel alive in each other's presence. And as this becomes your lived experience, you may find that the fruit was just the beginning, that vitality builds on itself, that one change leads to another, and suddenly you're not just surviving but thriving, not just remembering what it felt like to want, but living in the full expression of that want. And that's when aging becomes not a loss, but a deepening, a return to something wise and elemental and true. And for every man watching who has wondered if desire can return, if energy can be restored, if intimacy can be rebuilt, the answer is yes. Not in a bottle, not in a pill, not in a fantasy of youth, but in a commitment to care, to presence, to waking up each day and choosing to give the body and heart what they need to flourish. And it starts simply with a fruit, a walk, a glass of water, a look in the mirror that says, I'm still here, I still matter, I still want to feel. And with that one decision, everything can begin again, stronger, deeper, and more beautiful than you ever imagined.